to order. Item number 2 is the adoption of the agenda. It is before us on the screen. The agenda is adopted. Item number 3, approval of minutes for regular board meeting held on April 20th and April 27th, the special call meeting. Those minutes are on the agenda. The minutes are approved. The next item consists of 4 uh, information only items. They're presentations by 4 members of our administrative staff. And I will ask Ms. Scott, who is the Director of Teaching and Learning, to come on, to unmute, come on screen, and Mr. Dixon will present his screen for the presentation. Ms. Scott?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Dr. Watkins, or good evening, Dr. Watkins and community stakeholders. I want to give a report on our district's push. We have been using Paper is a resource that provides 24/7 tutoring service where our students can receive one-on-one support to build mastery in all content areas. It offers 3 components, one being live help that scaffolds student learning and supports with assignments, studying for tests, etc. Also, it houses a review center where students can submit writing submissions or written work samples and receive feedback where they can go in and revise their writing. And then another major component is the math missions. What math missions is pretty much a gamified approach to give students exposure to test items that are aligned to our state tests. Those are the 3 major components of paper. But I want to share the impact that our usage has had on student outcome and our being able to be good stewards of our resources. On the Yazoo side, there were a total of 37,727 total activities. These are from those 3 categories that I just reported. The live help sessions, there were 6,362, 780 review center submissions, and 30,585 paper math mission submissions. This equated to each student having about an average of about 24 activities per student. Paper's goal is that each student has 1 activity, so we can see that we are well above what their expectation is. So what this means is that in times of time, which we know is a valuable resource, 197,381 minutes in live help, 16,996 minutes in the review center, which totals to 214,377 minutes of supplemental support. If we turn this into hours and we looked at the average tutoring costs around the nation, which is about $34,000, this means that we've saved about $121,480. Moving on to the
Scott, I believe that's about $34 per hour. You said
Yes,
34.
I'm sorry, $34 per hour. I'm sorry. Moving to the Humphreys region. And I do want to, before I get into sharing Humphreys data, I do want to recognize the Humphreys region for being first in the state in paper usage. So that is something that is truly to be celebrated. So looking into the Humphreys usage, there were a total of 138,102 total activities. Broken down into those 3 categories, 10,471 for live help, 1,651 for review center, and 125,980 math missions. This equated to about 122, an average of 122 activities per student. And again, paper's goal is 1, so we are well above that. And then looking at the time saved for our teachers, a total of supplemental minutes is 314,640 minutes. We convert that into hours, which gives us 5,244 minutes, again at an average of $34 per hour for each tutoring hour. And that equates to a savings of $178,296. So as a district, and I won't go into the combined as a district, but as a district, that will mean that as a district, we've saved, or the community has saved, about $300,000 because we've been using this service. So I want to encourage everyone to continue to push their students and urge their students and their children to use this. This is a valuable resource. Again, it's available 24 hours, 7 days a week. And so using this only helps us to get closer to our goals. Thank you, Dr. Watkins.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. I appreciate the presentation, and I really appreciate the leadership of our staff to ensure that our students have access to this resource as well. It is free 24/7 access for tutorial for our students in grades 3 through 12, primarily in ELA and math. But of course, as Mr. Wilson says to us all the time, if you go in asking about ELA, but they'll direct you to where you need to go. And so we really appreciate being able to share this opportunity with our community, and we look forward to continuing our implementation of paper next year. And Mr. Wilson, if you would come off mute and talk a little bit about the study that paper is going to do with us in regards to our usage of it, and how they are interested in how our usage will impact our accountability.
Yes, sir. So first of all, Ms. Scott, thank you so much for sharing in detail the impact of our the accumulation of our usage data, and that's a perfect segue to talk about what we are going to experience next with a different department within the paper organization. We will be looking at the very data that Ms. Scott just presented, and we will be using that data, comparing it to our student outcomes based on our MAP state assessments to see what our usage is actually, how our usage actually leads to specific student outcomes. And we'll be able to measure those outcomes. And when I say me, I mean we, I say that us with the paper, our paper partners will be able to use that data to measure outcomes all the way down to the student level, school level, teacher level, and district level impact. And we will be able to make informed decisions on how we will continue to drive the paper resource regarding instructional practices next year.
Thank you for that, Mr. Wilson. And I really appreciate the leadership of the Instruction, Technology, and Professional Development Department to drive usage throughout our schools. I believe I recalled correctly from our presentation with the consultants from paper, we were able to see how there was usage after school, on weekends, but our primary usage has been during the school day. And that really shows how there has been an emphasis on ensuring that we are using it well, but also we need to increase our usage after school and on the weekends, because that's when students really see the benefit, when they need that extra help. And so we know that we have some work to do around that, but we really appreciate the work that has been done thus far, and we're hoping that we will see the growth or the accountability connection between our usage of paper, where we have used it primarily, and the outcomes that we'll be getting from our MAP assessment scores. Now we have Dr. Austin and our work with community engagement councils that will be coming up very soon. Dr. Austin?
Good evening, Dr. Watkins and members. I'll be discussing this evening our community engagement council initiative that we will begin within the next couple of weeks. Can you scroll up, Mr. Dix? Thank you. Okay, so community engagement councils are formally referred to as P16 councils, and they are a state requirement under the Mississippi Code 37-18-5. The purpose of these councils is to implement broad spectrum community based supports for schools and districts implementing improvement plans to improve outcome outcomes for learners. We have to have community engagement councils because each year the MDE assigns schools and districts performance classifications or grades of A through F. These performance classifications are determined based on student achievement, growth, participation in testing, and other academic measures. Any school or district that is identified as a D or F must establish a community engagement council. So now we'll discuss the overviews and requirements. Yes, sir.
I apologize for interrupting, but I want to go back to the previous screen for a moment.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That last statement where it says any school or district with a grade of D or F shall establish a community engagement council. You can be an A district with a D or F school, and you by law, you have to have a community engagement council. So it's not about whether you have a district that's A, B, or C alone. It really is about the school and or the district. And so I think that's important to point out that there are districts that look like they're doing so much more in regards to their academic outcomes. But if they have a D or F school in that district, they must also have a community engagement council. It can be at the school level or at the district level. Thank you, Dr. Austin, for allowing me to interrupt. Let's go to the next screen.
Okay, so a community engagement council is a community-led group focused on improving a school or a district, as you stated, Dr. Watkins. They are self-governed and its members are responsible for running its meetings. However, the council and district must work together in order to be successful. Each year, the council sets a goal in collaboration with the district. The goal is based on the district's strategic plan, annual report card results, and district climate results, or the district or school's comprehensive needs assessments results. A community engagement council is not the same as a school board. They don't have the authority to set policies, but they can recommend policies or policy changes. Who can serve on the community engagement council? Now, this is a little different from the previous P16 council because they have broadened the array of people or persons who can roles that can serve on a community engagement council. You have parents, you have members from early childhood representatives, students, community business leaders. You have school liaisons, district liaisons, community members and leaders, higher education representatives, pre-K 12 teachers, assistant teachers, and administrators. All of those people can serve on the council. The roles that govern the community engagement council would be the chair or the facilitator, communications liaison, vice chair or co-facilitator, and a secretary or note taker. So those would be the roles or the positions that would be responsible mainly for running the operations of the council. Those persons cannot be anyone from the pre-K 12 teacher, assistant teacher, or administrative position. They can serve as members on the councils, but they cannot serve within those offices on the council. So we are going to begin our interest meeting first in the Humphreys region on Tuesday, May 30th at the Humphreys County High School in the Seminar Hall at 5 p.m. And in Yazoo City, we will be Wednesday, May 31st at 5 p.m. at the Yazoo City High School in the cafeteria. And we are inviting all community members to attend these interest meetings where we will provide more information. And know that you do not have to be a parent or guardian to serve or be a member of the Community Engagement Council.
Thank you, Dr. Austin. We're going on to your next one on the third grade pass rates. And these are the initial pass rates.
That's correct. These are the initial pass rates. So the initial scores of the Literacy-Based Performance Act, or as we know, the third grade gate, were officially presented to the State Board of Education today in their regular board meeting. As you see here at the top, in the table at the top, we have our performance for first-time test takers for both Humphreys County, which is Ida Green Elementary School, and Yazoo City, which is McCoy Elementary School. And for those that don't know, the reason this is called the first time, or this is labeled first time, because this students have 2 more times after they initially take this test to take it and receive a passing score. So the table above shows the initial pass rates for both Outer Green and Humphreys County and McCoy in Yazoo City for the spring of 2018 through the spring of 2023. You can see a decline in the passing rates during the spring of 2019. The MDE at that time during the spring of 2019 implemented a more rigorous pass requirement, changing the pass rate level from a level 2 to a level 3. And also, we had to deal with the onset of COVID, which attributed to the decrease in the number of students passing the initial assessment. You have we have a fluctuation also between the spring of 21 and 22, which can still be attributed to, in most part, COVID, because we know that at that time our students were at home and they were then returning to school in person for learning. Whereas some of these third grade students had not, due to COVID in 2019, some of these students had not been to school for in-person learning in almost 2 years. With the release of the spring 23 results, we can see here that Humphreys County, Ida Green Elementary School had a 29% increase in its initial passers rate since spring of 22. And we would like to congratulate those students on their hard work um, in with this assessment. We can attribute this growth to the teacher coaching, where teachers were provided with coaching in reading and language arts. Students were provided high dosage tutoring, where they had access to highly qualified content specialists 3 to 4 times per week. They also had access to digital resources, learning through iReady. They had access to high quality materials such as MyView. And as Ms. Scott just stated, they also had access to paper 24/7, which provided tutoring services to them as well. So, in preparation for the first retest, we continued these services to increase the pass rate for our students. And we will also do the same for our third assessment. And I'm sorry, I said 29%, but they had a 20%, almost 20% increase in growth from 20 out of green from 22 to 23.
And Dr. Austin, will you explain good cause exemptions just in a general way so we can understand what that really means?
Okay, good cause exemption. Those are criteria that students meet where it is considered a good cause to allow them to actually move on to the next grade if they failed the third grade assessment. One of those causes could be if the student has been retained in the third grade for 2 years because they failed the assessment. That is a good cause for a student to be moved on to the next grade. Another example of a good cause exemption would be if a student has a individualized education plan, which is an IEP, they're an exceptional ed student. Those students may have barriers to actually passing the assessment. In Ida Green, we had 8 students in the spring of 22 that had good cause exemptions. In this spring of 23, we had 14. In McCoy, there were 38 students that had good cause exemptions in the spring of 22. And in spring of 23, they had 11. Those 11 students, they will still be provided the opportunity to reassess, so they may be able to pass with the interventions and things that we put in place at Outer Green and McCoy Elementary School. So that number may decrease after the final administration of the assessment.
And when was the first retest for our third graders?
The first retest was the week of May 8th through the 12th.
Right. And we're expecting those results back when?
We're expecting those results back around May 25th.
Okay. And the next opportunity to retest is when?
It will be June 16th, the week of June 16th.
Okay. Thank you for those details. Thank you, Dr. Austin. And
Yes.
now we'll go on to Mr. Giles on the construction project updates.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Watkins. It is my pleasure to share with you this evening the construction project updates for both the Yazoo region and the Humphreys County region. Our updates this evening are broken into three categories. We'll talk a little bit about the projects that are underway and already under construction, some of them are about to be completed. We'll talk a little bit about the contracts that are in the bid phase. We'll talk about some of the contracts that are waiting, that have already been signed, that are waiting to be either equipment to come in or school to be out to start. And we'll talk about those projects that are still in the design phase. I'll start by talking about the projects that are currently underway. If you look, our first project, and it's also our largest construction project in either region, is the McCoy addition and renovation project. It was approximately a base bid of $9,376,000. We're excited to see an expected completion date of June 15th, 2023. So that project is almost complete. It consists of ESSA 2 and ARP ESSA funds. We added an entire wing to that building. We call it the D wing. It has a total of 8 classrooms, office suite, computer labs, counseling, storage closets. It's a really, really nice facility. We also did restroom repairs in the McCoy renovation. We did some additional classroom space on the end of the B and C wing. We added a total of 4 classrooms to the B and C wing that was already at McCoy. We also did a new roof and we put fresh paint throughout the building. So we added a total of 12 classrooms to McCoy. And of course, those classrooms will house the Webster Elementary students for this upcoming school year. Secondly, we have the Performing Arts Center renovation project that's going on in Humphreys County at Humphreys County High School. That's our Performing Arts Center. This project is also about to be wrapped up. It has an expected completion date of June 15, 2023. It was funded with ESSA 2 funds and district funds. It was a base bid of $1.3 million. It consisted of complete restroom renovations, fresh paint, new ceiling tile. We also opted to put new HVAC throughout the building. We've given it a new roof. We repaired or replaced damaged doors. We got new flooring throughout the facility, and we're also putting in new audio visual equipment. So it is shaping up well. Next, we have the Yazoo City High School restroom renovation project that's been going on throughout the school year. It's about to come to an end as well. We have an expected completion date of July 15 for that project. It was approximately $748,000. This consisted of complete renovation of the restrooms in the main building. This was an ESSA 2 project as well. New drinking fountains throughout the Yazoo City High School. To jet and unclog all the sewer lines in the main building. We also did some minor electrical and HVAC repair as part of this renovation project. So we're excited to see it just about to come to a close as well. We've had completed phase 1 and phase 2 of this project. We're starting phase 3 after state testing, which will start, we think that'll be May 20th. Students will still have access, staff will still have access during phase 3 to restrooms. That's why we broke it up into phases, so students would not be without adequate restroom space. Now we'll move down to projects that we have under contract. We're either waiting to start those because we're waiting on equipment or we're waiting on students to leave for the summer. The first project that's under contract and ready to start is Humphreys County High School. We have a HVAC renovation project that has already been bidded out. Bid was accepted. It is totals $2,140,000. The expected completion date is sometime between now and the end of the 23-24 school year. And to talk a little bit about that is one of the things with HVAC units, and it's happened on all of our projects, HVAC units have several week lead times. So we'll be able to narrow that down. Once the project gets kicked off, we get units ordered, we be able to update that expected completion date. But in this project, we're replacing all of the HVAC at Humphreys County High School. These funds will come from ARP ESSER. We're also going to replace HVAC units at the Humphreys County High School Athletics, Activities, and Wellness Center. These will also be ARP ESSER funds, and we're going to replace the damaged roof section on the top of Humphreys County High School, and that'll be done with ESSER 2 funds. So a lot of work going on at Humphreys County High School this summer. Also, we have a project that's under contract, ready to start at Woolfolk Middle School. This is to replace the big package unit that cools the gymnasium. This unit is on back order, but is expected to arrive July the 26th, 2023. So we hope to have that project complete. And when students come back in the fall, they'll have air conditioning and heated gym. That project is also funded with ESSER 2 funds. Construction projects that are in the bid phase. These are projects that have already been designed. The project has been advertised for bids, and we're just waiting on the bid date for bids to come in. Humphreys County High School has a restroom renovation project that's expected to begin as soon as school is out. And expected completion date will be July 31st. We plan to have those restrooms ready to go when school starts back in the fall. This project is a ESSER 2 project. The renovation will also include the Athletic Activities and Wellness Center, and that will be ESSER 2 funded as well. At OM McNair in the Humphreys region, we also have a restroom renovation project that's getting ready to start there. That's ESSER 2 funded. It's estimated to be $729,000. We'll have a more accurate number once bids come in, but that restroom project will also include the Success Building, and it's ESSER 2 funded as well. At Woolfolk Middle School, we have a restroom renovation project that has gone out for bid. It's approximately $880,000. We plan to have that project complete by October 30th, 2023. This will include all restrooms in the N.D. Taylor building. This is ESSER 2 funding. We'll renovate the gym and the gym quarter restrooms. We will renovate the Weber building restrooms, and the Weber building is the Alternative Learning Center. And we'll also repair exterior plumbing at the main building on the Woolfolk campus. And all of that will be ESSER 2 funding. Some projects that we have that are in the design phase, we're trying to move these along as swiftly as possible. We plan for these designs to be complete within the next 2 or 3 weeks. We plan to get all these bid out in the month of June. Thomas C. Randall Career and Technical Center restroom and HVAC project. We plan to, like I say, get it designed, get it bidded out next month, and we're going to replace all of or renovate all the restrooms at Thomas C. Randall, and we're going to upgrade the HVAC, and that's ESSER 2 and ARP ESSER. At Ida Green Elementary, we're going to replace drinking fountains with ESSER 2 funding. We're also going to put in new playground equipment at Ida Green, and that'll be ESSER 2 funded as well. Back to OM McNair, a project that's in the design phase is the HVAC upgrades. We're going to upgrade all the HVAC at OM McNair. That'll be ARP ESSER funds, and we're also going to add a ropes course for the middle school students at OM McNair. Back to the Yazoo region, we're going to do some work at Larry Summers Career and Technical Center. We're going to repair and replace ventilation systems in the shop areas. This will be ARP ESSER funding. This is part of our Clean Air Initiative. And last but not least, we will be doing some work with the Humphreys County athletic facility. This will be district funded. We plan to repair the bleachers that are currently there to make sure they're ADA compliant and meet all the safety standards. We're going to replace the bleacher, home side bleacher press box with a brand new press box. We will resurface the track that's around the football field at Humphreys County Stadium. We're also going to add new restrooms on both the home and visitor side of the football stadium. And we're going to add new concession stands to the home side of the football stadium. And last, we'll add ticket booths on both the home and the visitor side of the football stadium. So as you can see, we have a lot of construction that's going. ongoing, and we have a lot of things that we're getting ready to roll out. So we're excited about it, and we look forward to getting all these things complete. Thank you, Dr. Watkins.
Thank you, Mr. Giles, and I appreciate your leadership regarding this work. It's a lot going on, but it's really great work that's going to impact the quality of our services for students and just improve the climate of our buildings and just hopefully these will end up in as opportunities for our community and our children and for our staff to be proud of what we're able to provide them with improved facilities. So we thank you for really pushing this work through. And now we're at the consent agenda. Consent agenda has quite a few items, and this is consent agenda, which means that they don't have to be explained and we don't have to go through each one of them. They have been reviewed specifically by me, and these are items that don't require a lot of explanation. So we have items that go from 5.1. Scroll down, Mr. Dixon, to 5.35 in the area of the consent agenda. So let's go on down to 6. And as we're scrolling down to item number 6, the consent agenda is approved. Item number 6 is approval of final reports for April 30th, 2023, and that's Ms. Upshaw.
Good afternoon, Dr. Watson. We're asking your approval of financial reports for April 30th, 2023. And in those reports, we're asking you to approve the statement of bank reconciliations, our statement of fund balances, our budget status report, our statement of income revenues, statement of expenditures, and our cash flow report for our district maintenance fund. We're asking that you approve financial statements for Yazoo City region as well as the Humphreys County region.
All right, that's item 6.1 and 6.2. Under number 6, those items are approved. Once again, all items on the consent agenda and item number 6, as 5 and 6, those items are all approved. We're now at our area of adjournment. Before we adjourn, I want to say formally thank you to Dr. Landfair for her leadership at Ida Green Elementary School. We see the improvements of your first-time test taker passing rate. We know you have quite a bit of more work to do as you did in preparing your students for your retesting, and we're looking forward to even greater success on your retest. And Ms. Doyle, we know that you and your staff are working very hard to improve your passing rates, and we expecting great results there as well. So I thank you for the work that you all are putting in to ensure that our students have access to the best opportunities to perform on every assessment that's placed before them. I also want to say thank you to all of our principals, all of our staff members. It's been a long school year, and we've overcome a lot of hurdles, and we've got a lot of work done, and there's a lot of work to be done. But we have to remember to have the right mindset that nothing good comes out of things that are really easy. The best work, the best outcomes comes from engaging the difficult task, making the hard decisions, and having the tough conversations so that we can provide the best opportunities and the best services for our students. And those are the things that our children, our parents, and our community deserve, because that's what we have all been placed here to do. Once again, I thank each of you for the work that you do for the Mississippi Achievement School District in the Yazoo City region and in the Humphreys County region. Our children deserve the very best, and you have been called upon to do that for them and to provide that for them. Once again, we have had, like I said, a long year, a good year in many regards. Quite a few celebrations. We are going to, principals, if you recall the email I sent out to you today, to remind you that we're collecting our celebrations of our student achievements, so we can put them in the newspaper on the Yazoo City side and on the Humphreys County side. So let's be reminded of that deadline in order to meet that requirement so we can get that out in time. Also, we have quite a few deadlines to meet to close our school, but remember, we are still having school until the very last day. So there is no slack time. There is no play time. There's not a time for students to be all over the halls because they think this is the end of school and we have a lot of activities. We have to be very focused and very sure that our procedures about every activity that we provide is well supervised and it has a tight schedule, and we're able to know where children are at every moment of the day. That is extremely important. We want to close school strong and with everything intact. And we need everyone focused in a way that will ensure that that happens. Once again, thank you for participating in the board meeting this evening. Thank you for your work in the Mississippi Achievement School District. Our meeting is now adjourned. Have a great evening.